if you're watching this video, you're in for a very special treat, because today I have with me someone with an abundant amount of experience. In fact, he's been in marketing online now for well over 10 years. He's had a lot of success, and he's spent years and years teaching people how they can do the same. Today I'd like to introduce you to Sotiris Bassakaropoulos, who has been an excellent mentor to me and someone who I now consider a good friend. If you haven't met Sotiris before, you may have come across him in the New York Times best-selling book, The Laptop Millionaire, which was written by Mark Anastasi. And if you can see my screenshot here, this is a copy of the book. And Sotiris was actually mentioned in 2 pages of this book. So he has a vast amount of experience, and today he has kindly agreed for me to interview him, and the topic of today's interview is going to be 20 questions for internet marketing newbies. Sotiris, are you there?
Yes, I am indeed, Daniel. Thank you very much for the very nice introduction.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to agree to do this interview.
Thank you very much too.
So would you like to introduce yourself and perhaps say a little bit about how you got started online and the reasons why you chose this career for yourself?
Yes, indeed. I started playing about in the internet it would have been probably about 12 years ago, and I set up a really basic website on a site builder. And at the time, I had different things going on, and I remember at one stage I got this job. It was in a call center, and I'd never ever in my whole life of having jobs. I had a lot of jobs, but I'd never actually been fired from a job. But basically, I asked to come in late one day, and it was actually to book our wedding for the 14th of February at the time, and I said it would be in at 11 o'clock. And what actually happened was I arrived in that day at 11 o'clock, and I was told that I had been fired.
Wow.
Because I was late, to go and see this manager, and that I had been fired. I got fired basically for coming in 2 hours late, even though I told them I was going to be 2 hours late. So I made the decision that day that was the last time I would ever put myself in a position for someone to be able to control my income or control when I went on holiday or what I did anymore. I decided that from then on I was going to be responsible for my own income and my own finances. And I started studying stuff on the internet, and then I went to a few seminars. And I remember I went to one seminar, and it was a guy who'd made I think he made something like 50 million or something in 10 years. And I spent thousands upon thousands of pounds on courses. I think I spent probably that day about 12 grand or something. I signed up for about 4 courses, which were about 3 grand each or something. And I made the decision that I was going to make money from the internet, and that was it. I wasn't going to do anything else. I made that decision that day. And part of the reason for that as well was after I left my employee job, I did a self-employed job, and I was actually working night shift. So I didn't get to see my child. And by this stage, he was, nearly 2 years old, and I didn't get to see him because I was working all night and sleeping all day. And, when I got up, I basically had like an hour to spend with them and then go to work, right? And I decided it just wasn't a life. And if I wanted to see my child grow up, I would have to change my business. I'd have to change what I was doing. So that's when I made the decision to, start internet marketing. And I that day I decided I was going to do it no matter what happened. And in my own mind and my own words that came into my mind is, that I would live in a box or in a paper bag before I will go back to a job or to, you know, some like business where I'm the job, you know, where I'm the person, you know, working 24/7 for an income. And that's basically what I did. You know, I made that decision, I decided, and I burned all the bridges behind me. And, you know, there was only one way. I could only sort of go forward. I couldn't, you know, I could go backwards from that stage, you know, because I wasn't allowing myself to. So that's what started me off on the internet. You know, then I made a lot of websites. I started making money from Twitter. You know, I built up an account on Twitter of, I know at the time, I think it was like 60,000 followers, and I started making money from that. And, you know, and then I started making money from AdSense sites and affiliate products and Google AdWords and different things like that. So that's, you know, where I started basically.
Excellent. Thank you. And you've never looked back since. You've never regretted that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never change it for anything. You know, I would never change it for anything.
Awesome. So would you mind if we got started with the 20-question interview for people who also might be getting started online as
yeah,
we both.
Absolutely. If you could just give me 1 wee second, I just want to open the window here.
Sure.
I just get a wee bit of fresh air and also turn the light up a wee bit because it's a wee bit dark.
Okay.
Just give me 1 wee second. I'll just do that.
For sure.
Just there. 2 seconds. It was okay 10 minutes ago, but it's got a wee bit darker, so I think it's better like this. Okay.
So if I could start with question 1, that would be, what do you need to start an internet business? What does someone need to begin their own online business?
Okay. To start a serious internet business, okay. There's different businesses. The great thing about online is there's loads of different businesses and different business models and so on that you can do. Okay, but if you want to actually build a subscriber list and a following and be able to have your own business rather than someone else's, you know, because you can go to like a big company like Amazon or eBay and you can sell stuff there. And you can, you know, have an internet business instantly, or, you know, you can go to other sites like that. But if you want to have your own business, build up your own list, your own people, your own customers, then really, you know, essentially what you need is you need to have a website or blog, right, which is your base for yourself, where you'll either promote or brand yourself, or you will promote or brand your company. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really, really important is that you need to build a database. Now, I don't know if you heard, but, you know, at one stage there, you know, Skype was sold for like, I don't know what it was, nearly $1 billion or something. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, you know, it was sold because it's such a cool software and stuff like that. And it is a cool software, right? But the reason it went for so much money was really because of its database. It was because of its customer database. It's because all the information of like millions and millions and millions of people, you know, they've got all their details. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's worth so much money. When you start an internet business over a period of time, you know, it takes time, but over a period of time you build up, you know, hundreds and thousands of people's names, emails. You know, you find out what they're interested in, you find out what they want to buy, what stage of their life they're maybe at, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really important. You need to also, as well as having your own base, which is your blog, and, you know, have your own social media connections, which would be the likes of, you know, set up your own social media like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube accounts, stuff like that. what you really need is you need to have your own autoresponder, because that basically is what collects your emails, collects your database of people,
Yeah.
and filters them so that you actually know what they're about, what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So, those would be the most essential things, would be a blog, some kind of blogging system or website, and an autoresponder. And really, you also need to be on the social networks. Unless you've got a lot of money to do paid advertising, then you could do paid advertising. But even then, you should still be building your brand on the social networks as well.
Yeah.
So really, you want to have, accounts in all the social networks, the major social networks too.
Excellent. And so you'd say that to build your own list of subscribers is essential.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your list is your database of customers, clients,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the people who will pay you in the long run.
Right.
They will be the people who you will be able to help in their business,
Mm-hmm.
and they will pay you for the information, for helping them, for pointing them in the right direction.
Right.
So that's very, very important.
Thank you. So would you say it's the kind of the greatest asset that you can make for yourself online will be to grow your list of warm subscribers?
Absolutely, it would be your list and your online business reputation as well. What people are thinking about you or saying about you as well would be important too. Obviously.
Excellent. Thank you. So that would lead us on to question 2. What would you say to someone who was asking how long should I expect to make money in my online business realistically?
Okay. With your online business, if you're completely brand new and you've never done any internet marketing before and you're just starting completely from scratch, realistically, I would say to you, you could be making money from your blog and stuff, starting to make a reasonable income in probably about 6 months. But I would personally give it 2 years. I would give it 2 years, because you're going to have a lot of stuff to learn in the beginning, right? You're going to have a lot of stuff to learn in the beginning, and you could be making money and don't get me wrong, you could be making money in the first 4 weeks. You could be a natural, or you could be really brilliant at something, and people could just flock to you. But if you want to be realistic about it, it's going to take you 6 months to get a lot of content out there. It's going to take you 6 months to get enough friends in the social networks, enough people to know you and know what you're about and stuff. People aren't just going to come on day one to a new site with no content and nobody in the social networks and start buying your stuff like crazy. And anyone who thinks that is better to just go and buy a lottery ticket or something, because that's just not the way it works. It is a business.
Yeah.
It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not something where you just start a website and suddenly you make $1 million in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work like that. It is a business, and realistically, allow yourself 6 months, but don't be disappointed if it takes you a year or 2 years to start making good money. I know marketers online who spent like 5 to 10 years before they started making decent money, but then once they started making decent money, they started making an absolute fortune, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, I want to, give you an income disclaimer as well. You're only going to get out of the business what you put into it. If you come and you sort of half do it, or you don't do it, or you do it for a while and then quit, you probably join a large majority who don't make money, and that's really the reason for it. All right. Yeah. But if you make the decision that you're going to make money in this business and you're going to continue, and you look at it with like a 6 month to 2 year plan, then you will move forward, and you will eventually start creating an income for yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that answer, Sotiris. And so, considering that one has to have kind of should really approach this business with a long-term vision. Is there any way for people to make money while their business venture is beginning? So kind of in the meantime.
Yeah, well, I mean, what you can do is, if you really need to make money, and I know there's a lot of people who are in that situation where they need money to pay some things now, or to even buy the tools and stuff that they need for their internet business. There is options, I mean, you can go and you can either make stuff and sell it, or you can, join the likes of Fiverr or something like that, and you can go and offer services. And there's loads of people already on those websites. They're already established, and you can start earning an income from those probably within, a week or 2 weeks. You can start getting people buying things that you're selling. So if you open up an Amazon seller account, you can go and sell stuff, sell your own products on Amazon. You could sell things on on eBay as well. That's another possibility. You could sell stuff on eBay. You could sell those kinds of things. You could sell T-shirts. You could sell, there's just like anything that you can think of is sold on Amazon and eBay. So that's a way for you to make some money, in the beginning. I mean, you can go on Fiverr. You can offer, to write articles for people. You can offer to like their videos. You can offer to, subscribe to their YouTube channel. You can offer them all these different things. What I would suggest, if you want to do that, is to go to Fiverr and look at all the gigs that there are, and then see the gigs and say, well, what could I do? What of those gigs can I do? Right. And if you can do a gig, if you can edit an article, if you're a good writer, a good editor, you can offer to edit articles, you can offer to edit books, you can offer to, there's so many different things that you can do. So just go have a look, go to fiverr.com, it's fiverr.com, see the gigs, see what you can do, and then list yourself as doing those gigs, and you can make money, even if it's just, there's some people only making $20 a month, there's some people making $100, $200 a month, there's other people I've heard that make like 40 grand a month on Fiverr, so don't take it too lightly. You can, if you're creative and if you give customers a really good feeling, if you provide a really good service to your customers and over deliver in Fiverr, you can end up making a lot of money there. So those are the kinds of things you can do in the beginning. I mean, in the very beginning, I remember I sold a property investment book, and I became an affiliate of it on Amazon. And I think I sold about £9,000 worth of that one book. Wow. And I joined their affiliate program, and they were paying me 50% commission, right? And I remember when I started selling on Amazon, I was selling the book on Amazon for £30. I could buy it from the guy's website for £23, and he paid me $9.97 commission, right? So I mean, there's loads of ways to make money out there. There's loads of ways. You just have to look for them. But they are there. So if it's taking you 5 or 6 months to build up the traffic to your website, or build up your videos and YouTube or all that sort of stuff, in the meanwhile you can be doing Fiverr, you could be doing Amazon, you could be doing stuff on eBay, and there's all sorts of different other things you can do in the meanwhile as well. So I hope that gives you something to think about and answers that question for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very insightful. Thank you very much. And so that would lead us on to question 4. And after question 1 and 2, you kind of said that okay, we need a list of warm subscribers who are interested in what we have to offer. So we need to build up our list. Mm-hmm. And you also said that we need a sort of a kind of a home for our business, i.e., we need a blog or a website of some sort. So that would be the second important aspect to our web business. So what sort of platforms would you recommend to build your blog in?
Okay, well, I mean, basically, as far as a platform goes, I personally would recommend, if you're just starting out, it's actually easy to go and get a platform that's ready. The easiest way is to go and get one that's ready. So I mean, you know, if you basically the system that we're using in our team, our Empower Network blog, something like that, is dead easy for somebody new because it's already, you know, there. It's created for you. You just have to add your bits and bobs, add your posts, add your content, add your picture, you know, so it's really there ready for you. So, you know, Empower Network's good. WordPress is also good. You know, you could set up a WordPress blog. You have to get hosting, hosting account, and WordPress as well. There's also another system that I'm using as well. I wouldn't really I would recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend the free one if you're doing a long-term serious business, but you can sort of get a website for free. But I wouldn't recommend the free. I would stay away for free. A lot of people go for free, but free normally costs you something. You know, if you go and get a free website on Blogger, or you know, a free website on WordPress, at the end of the day, you don't really own the content. It's like it's in somebody else. It's like building your house in somebody else's garden. You know, they can just come along and lift it at any time. And the beautiful thing about, you know, Empower Network or WordPress.org, or the paid system that I'm talking about, is that basically whenever you get that, you're paying for it, you know, so it's your own hosting. You don't have to worry about your content all disappearing. As long as you pay the hosting, the content's going to be there. So it's really up to you. You know, as long as you're paying for your stuff, it's always safe, right?
Fantastic. Thank you. So you'd advise somebody to firstly start building their list.
Yeah.
And also through their autoresponder, and also to have their own self-hosted blog in WordPress, or also
Empower Network blog or self-hosted blog. You know, as long as you've got a blog somewhere to build your business. The other thing about Empower Network is you actually get 10 blogs for that cost. So for the $25 a month, you actually can create 10 blogs.
Fantastic.
You know, which is also of benefit, you know. So it saves you money on paying the hosting. You know, you're not having to go and pay $100 a year for hosting. You know, because for the $25 you're getting your basic training, you're getting your blog, and you're actually getting 10 blogs. For that money, which is good. You know, it's good value. Plus you've also a system that sells, and you can get 100% commissions on the sales.
Absolutely, and it's instant setup as well. So
and it's instantly set up for you. Basically, once it's up and running, you know, once you purchase it, basically it's there. It's all there, and it's just a matter of connecting the autoresponder up to the blog, which you know, we help you to do, which takes literally, you know, 10 minutes, all of 10 minutes. And that's you. Your business is basically up and running, and you're ready to just start blogging.
Fantastic. Ready for the world to see.
Yep.
Excellent. And so that leads us to question 5. Something which I'd like to ask you about, which is quite a common phenomena for people who first get started online. Like there's so many different, you know, things that people offer you, and it's a phenomena which is commonly known as shiny object syndrome, which a lot of people suffer from when they first get started online. So could you explain to us?
I've seen a lot of people perish from that.
From shiny object syndrome.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is that, and what's the cure for it?
Well, basically, shiny object syndrome is, you know, people start off, they don't know anything about marketing online, they decide they want to learn something, they see a product or service, or someone comes along and tells them what to do, and then next thing they see another product, and then they see another product, and then they see a get-rich-quick scheme, and then they see another get-rich-quick scheme, and then they end up all over the place until they get completely overwhelmed. And because they're like stretched out about 50 directions, they can't make a penny, you know. Because, you know, you imagine yourself if you went to work in a shop and you were going to stand there and take money off people, right? And then you decided you wanted to work in the whole 50 shops in the whole street, and then you walked in and out and in and out and in that. You know, you wouldn't make any money because you're all over the place. Do you know what I mean? So nobody can pay you. You don't have time to advertise. You don't have time to be there. You're all over the show. Right. And then when they don't make money, then they get disincentivized. And basically when they get disincentivized, then they quit. Okay? Yeah. And the only way, you know, to lose in this business is to quit. So that's what happens. Basically, people get the shiny object syndrome. They go for too many different things at once, and, you know, too many different trainings, and, you know, and they just completely overwhelm themselves. And in the end, they don't have any success. So what you want to do is you want to follow one, you know, one set of steps until successful. Right. You know, so if you come and you join our team, we tell you, right, you need to set up your blog, set up a Twitter or YouTube account, you know, set up your social media accounts, and then blog daily and share your stuff in those 4 accounts. That's what you need to do. Right? Yeah. Now, if you go and you join it, and then you join some other system, and then you join like some MLM selling coffee, and you join another MLM selling electric and selling coins, you know, you won't do your blog post, you won't create your social media accounts, you won't share your stuff, you won't build a list, and if you keep messing around like that for the next year, you're not going to have any results to show for it, and, you know, eventually you'll just lose whatever and be another of the 97% who disappear, say it doesn't work, you know, which actually does work. So
right. So they just need to be laser focused and focused on one route.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So question 6. What would you say to anybody who's saying that they would love to get started online, but they don't know where to begin?
Okay, well, I mean, if you don't know where to begin, you want to get started online, you don't know where to begin, what I would say to you is find someone who is running an online business, you know, likes of you, Daniel, or myself, or other people who are already running online business and making money, and basically ask them to help you. Now, what happens, and a mistake that a lot of people do, and I've got this a lot in the past, is that, you know, I've had people come and they can see that I can show them all the stuff, I can help them with stuff, I can tell them, you know, how to make money and stuff, but then they see a guru, you know, so they see some guru, and yes, from a mindset point of view, it's great, you know, it's great to hang around people who are making, you know, 500,000 a month, and that's a great way to lift yourself up, right? Yeah. But in a lot of cases, when people join a guru in their business, and they join maybe with a basic blog at $25, right? The guru doesn't want to know them. Yeah. Right? So they're never going to meet the guru. They're not going to talk to the guru. The guru's never going to help them to set up their blog. The guru's never going to invite them on a hangout. You know, the guru's not going to show them anything, right? Yeah. And okay, maybe if they go and they spend $5,000 and they go to the event and they do all the stuff they're told to with the guru, eventually he might sort of, and they start bringing in some people into the business, then they might start, you know, sharing stuff for helping and stuff. But in the majority of cases, they don't, right? So, like, I've had so many people who went and joined with a guru. They came, they saw me, they realized I could help them to build their business, and then they went and saw a guru, you know, a top earner, and they went and they joined with them, and then 6 months later they come back to me and they says, oh, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. It's like, why don't you ask the guru? Yeah, yeah. You know, because you joined up with them, so why don't you ask them? Yeah, yeah. You know, because you know, so so at the end of the day, the thing about it is, you know, find someone who's going to actually help you. Yeah. Who's actually making money and who can help you and who cares to help you, who actually wants to help you to build up your business. Yeah. And don't just, you know, go for the, you know, because you see a car and a fancy beach picture, you know, you join the business because of that. Because yes, you're in this business obviously to make an income, and yes, it's great to, you know, have people who are making a lot of money to show you stuff, but you need to be realistic, and realistically you need to realize if you're starting, you know, for $25 or $125 your business, or $200, most earners are making, you know, 200,000 a month, aren't going to have the time of day for you, right?
Yep.
So you're going to be yourself. So you can do it by yourself, and you can learn yourself. Like, you know, I mean, even after paying for all the courses I did, I ended up practically learning by myself, because all those courses I paid for, I didn't get, like, I only got personal mentoring off one of them.
Yes.
You know, and that was like $3.5 grand courses, right? Pounds, not dollars. So the thing about it is, with us, you know, you have personal access to us. You can hang out with us. We'll help you to set up your blog, set up your website, set up your business, set up your buy buttons, set up your autoresponders, and we want you to succeed, and that's what we're here for. You know, so we will actually help you with it. And, you know, there's other people out there who will do that. You know, there's not that many, but there is other people out there probably who will do that as well. So, you know, it will accelerate your growth if you join with someone like that than if you just sort of join a business with someone who you're never going to see, never going to hear from, and you know, spend 10 years trying to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, and often you'll get people who they'll invest in some sort of product with a, you know, a so-called guru. You know, they'll invest their valuable time and effort, and then maybe they'll reach out to them and send them a message on Facebook or an email, and they won't even get a reply.
Yeah.
At least so you'd strongly suggest somebody sign up with somebody who they know is going to work, lock arms with them and work beside them and stand side by side with them and to help them succeed.
Absolutely, because that makes a big difference. If I had had that when I started, I would have been making money, a lot more money, a lot faster than I did.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's the same for anyone.
Yeah.
You know, you can listen to a great sales video with the push button red ClickBank product that you press, and, you know, $600 a day comes in and all that stuff. But generally, what you'll find is when you buy them, it won't happen. You know. Yeah. So even if the guru's making, you know, 300,000 a month, and they're selling you the push button red product that makes you $600 a day, and you buy it and you're not making $600 a day, then, you know, it's easy to see why they're making $600,000 a month, right? You know, the thing about it is we're helping you to build your business to actually make money, and we're showing you what we're doing. We're actually helping you and showing exactly what we're doing, rather than telling you that there's this magic button. You know, there's this magic button you'll press, you just buy everything and press this button and it's all going to happen, because that's BS, you know.
Absolutely. And so with question 7, so when we all start out online, we all start out without any experience. We all kind of start off on a level playing field. So just, you know, we all start from square one without knowing anything, and we will have to do these certain actions. So what would you say is the key difference between people who end up succeeding online and people who end up failing online? What's the main difference between these two types of people?
It's actually very simple. There's like 2 or 3 characteristics, and it's actually very simple, the answer for that. And basically that is that the people who succeed are the people who do all the things they're told and continue to do them, right? The second characteristic, that's the first characteristic. The second characteristic is that those people actually refuse to quit. They've decided that they're going to do it, they're going to make it work. they have a vision for what they're going to do, how much they're going to make, or what they want to do, you know, where they want to live, or, you know, they have a vision, and they will not sort of quit on that. And that's their main focus. The people who do not make it are the people who, you know, say, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give this business a go. I'll see what happens. I'll see if building a website works and makes me money. I'll see if, you know, buying this lottery ticket gets me the lotto. You know, I'll invest $25 and see what happens. Yeah. That mentality will always fail. It will always fail, because it's like, you know, they haven't started. You know, they haven't started. You know, they're just there for. It's just like a punt. You know, it's just like a punt. So you need to make the decision to not quit. You need the decision. You need to really, really want it. The most successful people in this business have had their backs up against the wall. They've had to make money. You know, they're losing. They've lost something. They've lost their house. They've lost their, you know, something's happened to them, and they've had to make money. And they've decided, I have to make money. You know, and I cannot go back to the job because I won't see my child, or I cannot go back to the job because, you know, I realize that, you know, they're just going to fire me one day anyway, and then I'm going to be broke.
Yeah.
So so it's basically a decision. It's a decision that people need to make. It needs to be a decision that people make. And, you know, there's no going back. You need to say, I'm not going back. This is the way forward. The way forward is through the internet. You know, I'm doing an internet business, and this is the way forward. There's no way back. You know, not I'm going to go and try it for a while, and then if I don't like it, I'll go back to my job, or I'll, you know, I'll see if I can do something else or whatever. That's the wrong attitude, and that's what 95% of people have, that attitude, and that's why 95% of people fail. Right.
So it's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There was an event on, you know, an even MLM event, and it was a guy called Eric Worre. I don't know if you've heard of Eric Worre. Yeah. And he went to this top earner in I think it was Amway or something, and he asked the guy. He said to the guy, you know, how do I become in the top, you know, 5% earners in this room, right? And the guy said to him, well, you know, many people are here tonight at this event. And he says, well, yeah, it's about 600, right? And he says, yeah, and he says, next month there'll be 600 as well, or 620. And the next month there'll be 700. But out of those 600 in the room, only 300 of them were here last month, right? So 50% drop off that month. The next month, of the 600, only 300 will have been in the room the previous month. So another 50% will have dropped off. So by the end of the year, there's only 5% of the original people who came to the first Amway meeting still there.
Right.
And they're the top earners.
Succeed.
And they're the top earners, right? So all you need to do is be here the year. You know, all you need to do is still be doing it in the year.
Yeah.
Right? You know, to be in the top earners. And it's the same with the internet. You know, if you're not marketing in a year's time, you're not going to be in the top earners.
Right.
You know? I mean, there's no top marketer that come in suddenly in, you know, in August, and by September they were the top marketer, and then by July they were gone.
Yeah.
It's never happened. You know, it takes them years to get to be a top earner, or maybe months, 6 months or a year, or maybe longer. And then once they get to be a top earner, if they want to continue making money, they need to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know, because there is also internet marketers who've just disappeared. They've been really good for 2 or 3 years. Everybody knows them, then they've disappeared.
Right.
That's because they've went and done another business or something or whatever. You know, but that's the way to be. You know, that's the way to be successful, is to continue to be there. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So people often quit before they're just on the verge of success.
Yeah, they're just on the verge of success and then they quit.
Right.
They're just on the verge of success and they quit. I mean, I'll give you an example. There was one woman that joined my team, and she couldn't even speak proper English, right? And she joined, you know, Empower Network, and she was posting like messages which weren't even like in English. They didn't make any sense. But she was just posting like crazy, like what I told her to do. And I said, if you keep posting and keep doing this regularly, you're going to get sales no matter what. But she sort of says, well, I'm going to keep doing it, I'm going to keep doing it, I'm going to keep doing it. And then she did it. And then she got, one day she got, it was, $100 commission and $25 commission, but she didn't join the $100 product, so she actually passed up the commission. She didn't listen to me and buy the product, and she passed it up. So she just figured out how to make money online, right? And instead of keeping on going, she got disappointed because she didn't buy the product and she lost $100, and she stopped marketing the product. And then after 3 or 4 months, she says, I haven't made any money, because she hadn't done one single post for 3 or 4 months. And then she quit, right? So that's not because the product didn't work. It's because she didn't work. When she worked, it started to work. Yes. But then she quit. And when she quit, her income quit.
Right.
Now, at a later stage, if she had done that for a year or 2 years and built up a team of, 20 or 30 or 40 people, she could have quit after a year and done no work, and she could have made, thousands of dollars, right? But she didn't. She quit too soon.
Yeah.
So that's a classic example of why people don't make, why people don't make money, or why people fail.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Because they quit too soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Sotiris. So that brings us on to question 8, where I'd like to ask you, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us, what kind of struggles did you face when you first started online? Can you remember any particular struggles that you had to overcome when you first began?
Yeah, I mean, when I first began, I didn't know anything about WordPress, and I used to struggle with HTML sites. And I bought all these courses, and one of the courses was a DVD set about how to make these websites, with Trillion Web Page. I think it was Trillion Web Page and some other FileZilla, and uploading files. And
FileZilla. I remember FileZilla.
Oh, it was an absolute nightmare, man. It was a nightmare. I spent like hours and hours doing all these websites, right? Because I thought if I do multiple websites, I'll make more money. So I basically created 500 websites. So instead of spending time marketing and selling and making money, I spent time making these websites, right? Which obviously, until they're live and promoted, you can't make money off them. So I probably spent 3 or 4 months with these things. Things is the only thing I can call them. And then once I had them up and running and actually made them live, the images disappeared. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get these images to appear, and I used to freak out. I used to drive me absolutely crazy, man, because I put so much work into it, and it really pissed me off, Yeah. But I finally got a few of them to work with the images, and I started doing AdWords, Google AdWords, and this is actually quite funny, because I didn't listen to the advice of one of the courses that I did, where my mentor told me, spend $5 a day on AdWords, right? So I figured, well, if I spend more than $5 a day, I'll make more money selling these products. But by mistake, when I was filling in the amount, per click, instead of 5 cents, I missed the 0, and I put 1 click for $5.
Oh no!
And I got these. It was really, really funny, because it was the first sales I'd got from any paid advertising. But after after a day or two, I'd get up and I had like 3 sales, right? And 2 people had bought this organic gardening ebook, and somebody had bought this yoga thing or something, right? And I was like, yes, this works. And I was going, happy days, I mean, I know, I'd made, $60 or something, right? And when I went to my AdWords account, I'd spent $690, and I was like, oh, yeah, how's this possible? How's this possible? And when I looked at it, I was getting clicks, and they were like $5, because by accident, I must have deleted the dot, and it went instead of 0.5, 0.05, it was like just 5,
Right.
5.0. And I was like, oh no. But then from that, I did another Google AdWords course, and I learned how to, get the sales for less than what it was costing me.
Hmm.
And, it became profitable. And I built up a team of about 40 people and 35 people, I think it was, in the MLM 7-figure networker. And that was like a residual income. That was like, you got a third, you got 30% commission. So the product was $47 a month, you got 17 a month. But then you got commissions when they bought an autoresponder, and you got commissions when they bought different other tools as well, So that worked really nicely, and then Google decided that they didn't like network marketing products, and they banned my AdWords account just when I was really getting going. So then I moved from AdWords to, I think, to Twitter, at the time. So yeah, it changes. You learn stuff and then it'll change.
Right.
That's the other thing. You need to keep on top of it. And that's one of the things about doing regular trainings and stuff. I always keep up to date with regular trainings so I know what's working and what's not working.
Right. Right.
And if something starts not working, then I have something else that I can do instead.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important to be with other people who know what they're doing instead of trying to work it out yourself.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of stuff on the internet that's 10 years old. There's still courses that were made 10 years ago about article marketing, and they're still on the internet, and you can still go and buy them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow their instructions, you're going to get banned. Your website's going to get
Really?
banned.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because Google doesn't like article marketing now. It doesn't like putting articles on other directories. So it will de-index you, it will sandbox you if you go and put like articles and easy articles and go articles and all these sites and point it to your site. Your site will disappear.
Wow.
Do
you mind sharing your story about your Twitter account, your Twitter account horror story when you were getting started?
Yeah. I mean, what happened to me was basically I started on Twitter. I figured out a way to automate it. With an automated software. I went away to a Mark Anastasia event in London where I was really excited about Twitter. I actually told him about Twitter at the time, and then he went and set up a Twitter account, and 2 weeks later he sent me this message. Cheers, I got these like 1,000 followers in like 2 days and all, blah blah. It's like, Mark, don't follow so many followers, you're going to get your Twitter account deleted. He's like, no, I'm going to follow more followers. And I think he got his like Twitter account deleted about 6 times. I kept saying, only follow so many a day, but he didn't listen to me. But what happened then after a while, I went away to that event, and I come back, and when I come back to that event, it was like, what you see with the gurus on the stage. I went back, I opened my ClickBank account, and when I looked, I had like 45 sales or something.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, you could see the names of all the people. One of the person's names was Mark Anastasia Cyprus.
Wow.
And it was all these sales, all these different people had bought the course on Twitter, and all it was I basically sent everyone a direct message on Twitter showing them how to set up their Twitter account, how to add buttons to their website and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then at the end I said, if you'd like to find out how I got 12,000 followers in 6 weeks on autopilot, mm-hmm. Click here to get the software. So they would just click there and buy the software because I'd showed them loads of stuff for free. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even had, I remember, Paul Mahoney come up to me one day and said, we're sending all these people to this Twitter product, and nobody, like thousands, and like nobody's buying it, And I'm going, it's because you send them straight to ClickBank link. Mm-hmm. You're sending them a direct message saying, go here to this product, and they're going, right, this person's trying to sell me something, boom, mm-hmm. delete, or they see the Bitly link, and they know they're being sold, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas I was sending them to a YouTube video. So this take a trusted YouTube link,
Yes.
They go to YouTube, I show them content, I show them information, I show them how to fix their Twitter account, I show them how to add buttons to their Twitter account, and then at the end I say, well, by the way, if you'd like to know how I got 12,000 followers, or whatever I was at that stage, 20 or 30,000 followers, click here to get the software I got. So I was selling this stuff like crazy via YouTube and Twitter. And then what happened was my YouTube account looked something like 20,000 views or something, and another one had 18,000 of the Twitter ones. And then this teenager, after people posting like 3,000 positive comments, this teenager came along saying, this is a scam, getting Twitter followers is a scam, and flagged the video, and YouTube deleted the video. So I sent him a message, saying, well, why'd you delete my video? There's nothing wrong with it. And basically 2 days later I went back to my YouTube account. My 300 videos were gone. Video, 103-year-old grandmother, videos of all kinds of stuff, completely gone, disappeared. So I was sick, right? I was raging. So that lost me a lot of money because I was making sales off loads of different things off the videos as well, like WordPress themes and all sorts of stuff. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, I get hit by Twitter. Twitter suspended my account for, at the time I was using a software called TweetAdder, and they suddenly took a dislike to any software. So because I'd used TweetAdder, they suspended my account and I lost my, whatever it was, at the time 55,000 followers or something.
That took you a long time to build up.
Which took me 2 years, to build up.
But you still carried on, you still persevered, you didn't give up.
Yeah, then after that I decided, well, I'm basically dependent on Twitter, I'm dependent on YouTube, I'm dependent on all these different people. So I need to have more stuff of my own. So at that stage I decided, right, I'm going to make a load of websites. So I created I think I got up to about 650 websites at one stage. And I was ranking for loads of keywords, and I was bringing in people like that and then getting them on the email list so that I didn't have to worry about YouTube or Twitter or anything like that anymore.
Yep.
And I was sort of doing that. And then after a while, eventually I got my Twitter account back out of a sheer fluke with the 60,000 followers after 4 years, which must be a record, to get a Twitter account with the followers back after 3 or 4 years. It must be like a record. I just started other accounts.
So that pretty much illustrates your point even further before what we were talking about, like the importance of building your list and having a home, a self-hosted home for your business, like kind of a blog or a list.
Yeah.
You can experiment on different things, but the main thing, if you have your list and your home, then you're
absolutely kind of, because you might not be subject to a job, you might not be subject to a boss or whatever, but what you have to remember is when you're on the social networks, right, you're subject to some employee, and in some cases that could be a miserable employee who's had a bad day in their job, right, and they come along and they see your video or your tweet or your whatever, they say, oh, I don't like this guy, or he's a smart ass or whatever, and they just come along, press the button, and all your content's gone. So if you have a website on a system like that, that can happen to your website. So when you don't have your own hosted blog, that can happen to your website as well as your YouTube account, your Twitter account, your Facebook account. So I always say multiple baskets for social media. Use all of them. If Facebook disappears, you've still Twitter, you've still Pinterest, you've still YouTube. If YouTube and Twitter disappear, you've still Facebook, you've still Pinterest. You can do more accounts, whatever. But if you're just doing Facebook and your Facebook account goes, your business is gone. If you're putting all your blogs on Blogger and someone comes along and say this is a spam blog because they're selling a product, delete your blog and it's 2 years' work. 2 years' work's gone.
Yes.
How much do you pay for 2 years' work? I don't know, that's a lot of money, right?
Exactly.
And that's to save you paying $25 a month for an Empower Network blog, or to save you paying $100 a year for hosting. You know,
exactly.
you lose 2 years' work. It's just completely stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Definitely.
That's why it's the first thing I tell people always. And also, once you get more advanced and you're doing a lot of videos, you also want your own hosting for videos as well.
Thank you. You know, this kind of pretty much even highlights what we've been talking about. Like, I mean, the importance of taking time to invest in your learning, to attend hangouts like these, and to work with people who you know can help you and can, you know, set up hangouts such as these, because, you know, like you said, it took you 2 years to learn that lesson. Whereas
Yeah.
someone coming on today who's just getting started online, just by kind of working with us
Yeah.
and finding people who can actually help them,
Yeah.
it saves you so much time, stress,
Absolutely.
and hassle.
I mean, we can tell them before they do that mistake.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, or we can tell them before they set all their hopes and all their wishes on their Twitter account, or all their hopes or all their wishes on their YouTube account, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And get started on what really matters.
Yeah.
So
Because I mean, it's even harder. It's even harder if you get hit unexpectedly. You know, if you're building up a big YouTube account or a big Facebook account or a big Twitter account, you think this is my income. I've built it. I'm making, you know, 10,000 a month now, and suddenly it goes. Then it's like huge gunk.
yeah.
You know, whereas if someone told you your Facebook account, your YouTube account, your Twitter account probably will disappear one day, one of them. You know, so be ready.
Yeah.
Then it's not as big a gunk.
Exactly.
It is a gunk, but you've already got your other accounts going, you've your other websites, you've your other income streams, so it cushions it off.
Definitely, and without connecting with the right people, such as yourself, and without, you know, working with people and finding mentors, etc., the only way to find out is the hard way. So now, by somebody watching this hangout, they've just learned how to save themselves 2 years of hassle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of brings us on to our next question, question 9,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, which is there anyone out there who can help me set up my web business? So who can help me set up my web business? If someone was asking that question, what would your answer be to them?
Okay, it depends on your situation. Obviously, it depends on your finances and stuff like that. You know, I mean, certainly myself, you, most of the other people who are in my team, you know, can help you to set up your own online business. And really, I think it's the cheapest way is to basically join our business for, you know, join Empower Network for $25 a month with one of us. Is probably the cheapest way to get someone to help you to set up your online business.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if you've got money and you know if you want to do something different, or if you want to do your own WordPress stuff or whatever, you know, you know, there's different possibilities out there. I mean, you can go and you can pay somebody, you know, a few $100s, or sometimes depending on what your website is, you could pay thousands of dollars for someone to go and make you a custom website for your product or services and stuff like that, and do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you've a lot of money, you know, you could go and you could pay somebody to just make it for you.
Right.
But personally speaking, I mean, from my point of view, I wouldn't do that, because, you know, if I had $4,000 extra to spend and I was starting out, I would prefer to spend that $4,000 on paid advertising,
Mm-hmm.
or on outsourcing, getting people to advertise my stuff, rather than spend that money on just getting the website. Because obviously, you know, a website's like an empty house. It's not worth anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not worth anything until a tenant goes in and pays you. You know, if you have a website and nobody sees it, it's not worth anything. So you could pay 20 grand for a website, but if it's not bringing in money, it's not worth anything.
Yeah.
So why would you pay 20 grand for a website that doesn't bring anything? You know, better, you know, start a website for $100, start making thousands of dollars a month, and then pay somebody a couple of grand to make it real flash.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're making thousands of dollars a month.
Definitely.
Rather than going and just throwing money. You know, it's something that might even work.
Sound advice. Question 10. why can't someone use Gmail to market to their list?
I have to admit, I was one of these people in the very beginning, and I actually thought it was really smart. I was thinking, yeah, you know, if loads of people got emails from my stuff, if I could like find 10 million people to email from Gmail or Hotmail or whatever, mail.ws, I could make an absolute fortune, right? And that's one of my thoughts at the beginning. But what I realized in a very short period of time is that if you send an email from an ordinary email provider like Gmail or Hotmail or whatever it is, Yahoo or whatever, if you send it to more than like 5 or 10 people, they immediately put it down as spam because
okay.
And nobody will get it. So you could send an email to 100 people and it mightn't even be sent to anybody.
Right.
Or it'll go to 98 people's spam box and you might get it yourself from yourself or something. But it's really a waste of time. It's really a waste of time. So, if you're fooling yourself to save $10 a month, getting an autoresponder, you want to save yourself money and you want to build your business better, forget it, because what are you worth? What are you worth per hour? What would you even earn per hour if you were working in a job? Even if you're earning $5 or $10 an hour, that means if you wasted 10 hours sending emails, you just waste $100 that month. So why would you waste $100 to save yourself $10 for an email that nobody'd ever get? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like building. It's like going back to building your house in someone else's garden. Why would you do it?
Exactly.
They'll just come along and pull it down.
So it's essential for someone to have their own autoresponder account, such as Aweber or GetResponse.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. Question 11. Can anyone do this, or do you need to have specialist skills to start?
Anyone can do this. I believe anyone can do this. It's just basically making the decision. You don't need any specialist skills, because the thing about the internet is there's so many ways about it. You don't have to be the person up front. A lot of people think that when they're in the internet they have to be the expert. Like you have to be the expert because you're in the internet, so you need to be the expert, right? And that's not the case. There's so many different ways and so many different formulas and so many different things. You could be a reporter, you could report in some news. You can be the interviewer, like what we're doing today. You can be the expert. You can be there's so many different angles to come from. So you can really be anything at all. And you don't even have to be in camera. You could make an audio. Right? You could make an audio, or you could make a video with music and pictures, or there's so many different ways, or just write stuff. Even if you don't like writing, you could sit down and make a video and get someone to just transcribe it. Go to Fiverr and get someone for $5 or $10 to write out your video. So there's so many different ways. You don't need to be some sort of super super person, some super skill, or especially you really don't. If you know a bit about some stuff, it'll help. If you're good at something, if you're good at something in particular, if you know about a hobby, or you know about gardening, or you know about marketing online, or you know about yoga, or you know about something, it's going to help you. It can help you a lot. But you don't need to.
Right.
You don't need to be able to make money online.
Okay.
Because you can sell other people's stuff. You can sell other expert stuff. You don't have to be the expert.
So would you say that all someone really needs to do is kind of find a profitable niche and find a target market, and then your job is just to kind of be a broker and bring them two together?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. Question 12. What would you say to someone whose friends, family, or work colleagues have heard about their interest to make money online and are telling them that selling products online is a scam. What would you say to someone who did that to you?
I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time. A thing that we have to remember, especially when we're going into this business or any, entrepreneur going into any business, is that if you get into like a small percentage of people, right? So if you get into a small percentage of people who are maybe making money online, or a small percentage of people who are, top salespeople, or a small percentage of people who are estate agents or something like that, if you get into a small niche of people, right, you're not doing what the other 100% of people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it comes to the crabs in a bucket syndrome. You know, when you put crabs in the bucket and a crab wants to get out, all the other crabs are going to drag it down because they don't want the crab getting out of the bucket to freedom, because they're not free.
Right.
And it's exactly the same in real life, with business and stuff. If your brother-in-law has a job that completely sucks and he hates it, and he goes to every morning, he really hates it, and he hears you're going to make money online and, sell $1,000 products, he's going to tell you it's a scam, because he's afraid of doing that business, because that's why he's working in the job that he hates, because he's got a fear of that business. And if you listen to him, you will end up working the same job as him and getting the same income and being the same miserable person that he may be. And the same goes for your family and different people who haven't done something. If they haven't done internet marketing, they're not going to give you a lot of. Sometimes they will. Sometimes your family say go for it. But in a large majority of cases, people fear the unknown. And fear is one of the biggest things that hold people back.
Definitely.
So as soon as they see you going into something unknown, they're going to fear for you, and they're going to tell you anything they possibly can to stop you doing it.
Yes.
Right? Because of their own fear. Based thinking, and their fear-based thinking got them where they are today. So, unless your, sister or brother or mother-in-law or friend or whatever is living the life of their dreams, and they're making money online, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they tell you don't do this online, then why would you listen to them? Why would you listen to them? I mean, you're not going to go and ask, a plumber. You're not going to go and ask a plumber how to make $1 million on the stock exchange, right? Because you would know that he doesn't know. But people will listen to their brother-in-law or their mother-in-law or their father who's never done something because of their mother-in-law, their brother-in-law, or their father for advice about something they know nothing about. And that is one of the other reasons to get into the 95%, by listening to people who aren't qualified, their opinions on your business. If you want to make a business work, you have to decide that you're going to make it work, and that has to be your opinion about the business. And once you let other people give you their opinions and you start believing their opinions, that's when your business will fail, when you start believing everyone else's opinions. So if everyone around you believes that your business won't work, the only person who needs to believe it is you. But once you allow them to convince you that it's not going to work, or that it's a scam, or that somebody's making money, or I mean, I love the one you get. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. And it's like, define a pyramid scheme? What is a pyramid scheme? Oh, somebody above you gets more money. Somebody, it's like a pyramid. It's like, okay, so what is this family? Family's a pyramid. What is your supermarket, Tesco? It's a pyramid. There's these employees at the bottom get a trickle of money, and then the managers, they get a trickle more money, and then there's somebody who owns a store at the top of the pyramid, and they get all the money, and the whole country goes and spends money in this pyramid, and suddenly, because it's on the internet, and they say it's a pyramid scheme, it's like, oh, that's a scam, that's dangerous, that's a pyramid. Every business, every family, everything is shaped like a pyramid. So you're in a pyramid scheme whether you like one or not. So why would you say that even? What has that got to do with it?
Would you say that it's just kind of like it's ego in some way, because the ego is always fearful of things that it doesn't have experience.
Absolutely.
So from time they start making their first few leads, or from time somebody first starts making their first couple of sales, that's when that's when the belief kicks in, and they're not even listening to anyone else.
Well, it's back to the thing we were talking about the other night, that everybody does everything you do in life is done for, one of two reasons: the avoidance of pain or the gaining of pleasure.
Yeah.
So fear comes from avoidance of pain.
Mm-hmm.
So people, rather than going and spending some money or spending some time and setting up a business, they prefer to avoid the pain of that and go to a job, right? And they think that going to the job, they're going to avoid the pain because they can just go to the job and get the money at the end of the week.
Yeah.
But the pain comes anyway, because at the end of 2 or 3 years when they get fired,
mm-hmm.
or when they're told they can't go on their holiday, or they're told what they can or what they can't do, or they can't live the life that they want, or they can't be with their family, then the pain's actually more than the pain of actually going and doing something about it. But it's actually that fear-based pain which kept them back. It's the fear-based pain which made them listen to their brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
And say, yeah, that's not going to work. And they said, oh, yeah, you're right, it couldn't work. Or, maybe it is a scam,
It's a very common thing, isn't it, to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if you're worried about scams and you're worried about going and looking on government websites about scams and stuff, what you need to realize is that the biggest scam in the world is actually, banks and the governments and themselves. That's actually the biggest scam. Pensions, governments, jobs, schools, they're actually the biggest scam, The medical system in America, I mean, need say no more about it. Look at some of the bills people get for being given stuff that doesn't heal them or doesn't help them. I mean, that's the real scam, but people are focused on going and looking, oh, I paid $25 for a blog. That's a scam, It's like, what are you on?
It's ridiculous.
You're being given a business. You're being given a business to put online for $25, and you're going and you're being given, chemotherapy, which is going to kill you, right? And not heal your cancer. Mm-hmm. And basically, you're calling that a scam.
Exactly.
I mean, get real.
And that leads us quite fittingly into question 13. So if it's not advisable to take advice from friends, family, and work colleagues, or people who aren't doing who aren't getting the results that you do want to get, so question 13 would be: so who then do you take advice from if you're interested in making money online?
What you need to do is you need to basically take advice from people who are doing what you want to do. So if you want to make money online, you find somebody who's making money online, who that you can get on with, that you can trust, and you work with them.
Yeah.
If you want to be a top investor, you don't go to the Halifax and ask them what property to buy to the person who works in the shop who's an employee and gets paid £250 a week.
Mm-hmm.
You go and you find an investor who's bought 200 properties and making, a huge amount of money.
Exactly.
And you ask them, what should I buy and what should I not buy?
Yeah.
Right. And internet marketing is the same. You don't listen to your mother-in-law about what property to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You listen, unless your mother-in-law's made millions in property or whatever. You take advice from someone who's already doing what you actually want to do.
Mm-hmm.
As well, you want to also realize, and I just want to put this into the mix, is that yes, it's good to always hang about with someone who's made more money or doing things that you want to be doing, but at the same time, if you sometimes jump too high a level and you don't pay to jump that level, and when I say pay, I mean either pay financially right, for a millionaire. Like, for example, one millionaire I know who have done a lot of his courses and stuff, learned a lot of good stuff from him, but, you know, he put it up there a few weeks ago for a weekend with him, to go for the weekend with him was $9,997, right, for 2 or 3 days, for him to set up your business and do all this different stuff, right, so that's like 10 grand, right, so if you haven't got 10 grand to pay someone like that to do it and actually be with you and help you and show you and mentor you how to do it, then, you know, if you buy their $25 course, you know, on how to do Facebook ads, it wouldn't be $25. If you did the $25 course and, you know, how to get more traffic or something, right, you're probably not going to learn everything you need to know about marketing online. Right?
You're always going to have questions, aren't you?
Well, yeah, you're always going to have questions. You're always going to have questions. There's always going to be new stuff that you need to know.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're not getting one-to-one access with a person, then it's not really in your benefit joining with them unless they're going to give you all the information and all the trainings you need.
Yeah.
You know, and communicate with you. It's not really worth your while joining under them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my personal opinion.
No, I think that's very, very.
Not everybody's opinion. A lot of people say, well, you want to join the people who make money and all that. But yeah, but you know, it depends. You know, if you're at a one-to-one and you're sitting at the table with those people, right, and you've made some sales and you've done some stuff and they're sitting talking to you and showing you, yes, that's perfect. But many people join because the person's made money and they've no access to them.
Right.
So they may as well join with the guy next door.
Yeah.
Because there's no benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah. Only they can say the person I joined under made, you know, 40,000 a month, you know, or made 80,000 a month, right? They can say that, but then if they ask them how much they maybe made nothing, because the person who made 80,000 a month never showed them what to do.
Yeah.
Right. So.
I completely agree. In fact, I mean, even that I mean, that advice you've given there is just golden. I mean, if somebody would just follow that advice and just implement what you're saying there, I mean, that could really boost their progress like you wouldn't believe. Rather than going it alone, you know, kind of just by doing what you've told us to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's extremely sound advice. So thank you very much for that.
Okay.
And so, question 14. If somebody were to ask you, oh, do I need to quit my full-time job to become a success online, or how much time do I need to invest per week into my online business, what would you say to them?
I would say to them, how much do you want it? I would say to them, how much do you want it? You know, how determined are you to get it, right? Now, in the point of view where there is maybe a fear factor, and you maybe have a family, and they're maybe, you know, used to a certain way of life and whatever, and you know, you feel you need your income from your job or whatever, what you can do is you can use one of my favorite people who passed away a few years ago, Jim Rohn, said, you know, the magic of part-time, right? And that is basically you can take all your spare time, instead of watching TV and messing around and doing stupid stuff, you know, start working part-time on your fortune, right? He calls it his fortune, you know, so basically your fortune is your own business that you're going to grow to make a fortune, instead of working full-time in your job, right, which is just to basically get by. So start working part-time in your fortune. So start building up a website, start doing traffic, you know, maybe do it in the evening when you get home from work. Say, I'm going to work 3 or 4 hours every day in the evening when I come home, and I'm going to do, you know, the things that I need to do in those hours, right? Yeah. So you can do that, and that way you still have your income. Now the great thing about that is, and like Jim always used to say was, you know, the great thing about that is that when you start making more money part-time than you do in your full-time job, then people start, their ears start perking up, you know, because they're going like,
yeah.
but you made more money working 3 hours a night than you did working 12 hours a day in your job. How did you do that, right? So a lot of people want to know that just because it's part-time, because they're saying, well, I could have a part-time thing going as well, right?
Yeah.
Can I start a part-time thing, you know? So from that point of view, you can do that, right? You can do that. Not everybody is like that. Confession is, I'm not like that. I'm the type of person that if I don't decide all in, as you say, you know, if I don't go all in, if I don't make the decision to like just do it, I won't do it properly. So Robert Kiyosaki was the same. You know, Robert Kiyosaki had a really good job in IBM or something, and he realized that if he didn't leave the job, he would end up, you know, as an employee for his whole life, and he would never do anything. So he left the job, and he had no money, and he ended up living in a car, right? And then when he started living in a car, he realized he had to put his head together and start buying some investment properties with creative ideas, and that's how he started to become wealthy. You know, by doing that, by putting his back against the wall where he knew where to go, he couldn't go any further down. You know, the same with Dave Wood. I mean, he was living in a van as well. So, but you know, for me, it was the same. You know, if I just sort of said, oh, I'll get a job and I'll do this and I'll do that, there would never be any pain to move forward. And I find that a lot of the most successful people have had a pain. And the reason why a lot of people who aren't successful is because there's no pain. You know, there's no pain. They're comfortable. I make enough money. I go on one holiday a year. I have my car paid. You know, I'll maybe try this thing and make some extra money. There's no pain there, right? If you're sitting and you've lost your house, or you're about to lose your house, or you don't have the money to have a car, or your family, your wife shouting at you because you don't have money to buy food, or you know, stuff like that, right? At that stage, you have to be creative, right? You have to be creative, or else become a bum, right? You know. So when people get to the stage where they're in a lot of pressure like that, a lot of people will like do miraculous things under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miraculous things. They can do miracles under pressure. But if you're not under pressure and you're comfortable, you're in your comfort zone, most people won't bother doing anything. So sometimes you need to get uncomfortable. So yes, if you just leave your job tomorrow and you have no income coming in, your family, you're going to be very uncomfortable. You know, you're probably going to fight for a while. You're going to fight through your wife. You could lose your house. You could lose your thing. You could not make some payments. Shit could happen. But you could be a lot more decisive that you're going to make it work. So that's a decision that you alone make. You know, you can go the part-time route, but you might not find yourself motivated enough. You know, you might find after 3 or 4 weeks you're not bothering to do it because you're saying, oh, you know, I'm tired and I can't be bothered and stuff. And that's because you're not motivated. And you're not motivated because you don't have the pain. You don't have anything driving you. You know, you don't need to make, you know, $10,000 this month. You don't need to, you know, because you've got your house, your car payments made, blah, blah. So I think it's entirely up to your individual self. But if it's going to make you broke or depend on a job and then be redundant and penniless at 60 years of age, then you're probably better just leaving the job now and struggling for a while and going through the pain and becoming rich. Or else you can try doing the part-time thing, which a lot of people have done too, and just do that and see how it goes for you. But if you're one of these people after 5 weeks that you haven't done what you're meant to do, you probably won't until you get into a situation where you're in some kind of pain and you need to do something.
Right. Thank you.
Hope that answers the question.
Absolutely, definitely. So there's 2 ways to go about it. Question 15. Is it possible for someone to make money online if they have a disability? For example, someone is blind, deaf, or have
Absolutely,
a disability for that matter.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I even saw a guy a guy talking to a millionaire, and basically he'd like one of these diseases where he can't hardly move, and he basically uses a thing in his mouth to move the mouse, and a thing to press with his tongue to click to select the button, to write stuff and to do all sorts of stuff. There's another woman who in Empower Network who I think was making up to, I think she was talking to one of my team, and she actually went and saw her in Australia. She's from Australia. One of the people joined me in Empower Network. She's from Australia, and she actually went and seeked out this woman, and basically she had a paralyzed thing where she had to lie in bed and basically do all her work in bed. Christina Munoz or something her name was, and she's basically paralyzed, and she called my friend she was talking to her, and that month she'd made something like 80 grand.
Wow.
In Empower Network, you know.
Fantastic.
So that's somebody who can't even, stand, has to lie in bed all the time. There's another person who I know was blind who's doing really well as well in it, and someone else I know did really well, made like thousands and thousands and thousands, who was deaf.
Wow.
So I've seen deaf people who've made money, blind people who've made money, and people who are like, can't walk who've made money. So I don't, unless you're paralyzed at the stage where you can't actually think, to make anything, I think it's possible.
And even recently, I met someone, and he's such an amazing guy. In fact, he's not only is he blind, right? He's blind, but he also suffers from schizophrenia.
Yeah.
He has two conditions.
Yeah.
He's blind and he suffers from schizophrenia.
Yeah.
He makes his own websites. He creates his own software. He does everything. He's just an amazing guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, and he writes articles. He writes posts. He creates everything.
Yeah.
And he's a blind gentleman, and he also suffers from schizophrenia.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's not okay. Not only is he an amazing guy, but nevertheless, regardless, even if you do have a disability, you can still do this. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Question 16. How much would it cost to hire a personal coach or mentor? We briefly touched upon this a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Generally, as a rule of thumb, how much would it cost to hire a personal coach or a mentor?
Well, I know a friend personally who paid one top marketer to go for 1 day with him to learn paid advertising. He paid him $30,000. Right? I know we were talking about earlier another marketer who charges people $10,000 to go for 2 days to his house and to help them to set up their website and get some ongoing, there's some ongoing webinars and seminars and not seminars, webinars and stuff like that, and that was like 10,000.
Right.
So you can pay a lot of money to get top people to train. You can pay like loads and loads of money. Loads of money. But like I say, if you join our team, if you buy the package, the basic package, which is their DVD set, the inner circle, and the blogging system, you can have as much access to me, and I'm sure most of the people who are in my team would say the same thing, on a personal one-to-one basis on Skype. You can even come over here and visit me or whatever for a day or whatever, and I'll be more than happy to help you with your business. We can do it over Skype, we can do it over Google Hangouts like this. and you know, I will show you, help you how to set up your blog, how to set up your capture page, and how to do all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I would say for $197, that's quite cheap, you know.
Absolutely.
And you've also access then to make $125 for each person who joins your business, residual monthly commission as well.
Absolutely.
You know, so you don't need too many of those. You know, if you've got 10 of those coming in, that's $1,250 a month.
Exactly.
A lot of people could nearly quit their job on that, you know.
Absolutely, definitely. So that leads us on to question 18. Excuse me, question 17. So we all know that the internet is and the marketplace is always changing. So it's important to be up to date, you know, to keep your finger on the pulse, so to speak. So where does someone go for the latest updates and you know, the freshest strategies and information in terms of what's working online and what they can use to generate an income for themselves?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, there's a lot of different places you can sort of go. You know, you can go around the internet and you can sort of go trawling around and checking, you know, top type marketers. You can check their YouTube channels and see what they're doing and so on and so forth. But I mean, basically, the thing we have inside, you know, Empower Network is we have up-to-date trainings. A lot of the trainings get, you know, updated every so often, to match with, you know, what sort of changed or what's happening. So I mean, we have a lot of trainings actually inside Empower Network themselves. We also do. I tend to keep up with a lot of top marketers, what they're doing, and you know, the new methods and stuff like that, and you know, masterminds and things like that. So we do a weekly hangout, a weekly training for everyone on our team, where you can come and we'll tell you what's working, what's not working, you know, and show you different techniques and strategies to, you know, syndicate your stuff, do your blog post software and stuff that you're going to need, and things like that. So we will show you all that stuff, you know, if you're basically a member of our team. I mean, the cheapest way to get to be a member of our team is just to, you know, join with a basic blog. But if you want like full access, you know, to be and the other people, you know, buy the package where you also get the DVDs. There's also DVDs as well, which you can hand out to people and get them to find out more about the business as well. If you want, you can do that too, or you can just do it online, like I'm doing too. So basically, you know, get started with one of us. There should be a button here. Whoever invited you, there should be a join button. You know, click the join button and join with us, and we will give you all the latest trainings, you know, and updates as they go along.
Absolutely.
You know, the other possibility is you can troll around on the internet there and find, you know, stuff. Some of the stuff will be up to date. Some of the stuff will be good. Some of the stuff will be people just trying to peddle you some software that maybe doesn't work. You know, and that's not something that we do. We don't, you know, try and peddle people's software and things that don't work or don't benefit you. You know, the only things we use are things that are going to benefit our business, going to move our business forward, going to make it look better, look more professional, or help to get more people to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not going to, you know, sell you a push button, click bank millionaire software. So,
exactly. Such as 2 nights ago, was it last night or the night before? We started a hangout for the team, everyone to come aboard and learn some new tricks and strategies. So it's continually even that it's continually updated. It's fresh. It's
absolutely every week, every Wednesday.
Exactly. I mean, even today we're creating this hangout especially for people, you know, who are interested on our team and interested to join our team. So we're always continually helping.
The other thing is, I mean, my upline, you know, makes about 40,000 a month in Empower Network, and again, check the income disclaimer. But they've actually provided a system for everybody who's in our team as well, which you will also get access to, which includes, you know, training site and all kinds of access to different trainings and stuff that are like way ahead of anything else out there, you know. So you get access to all that when you join us as well. So
including daily masterminds and daily trainings also. From real people.
Also mindset calls as well.
Morning mindset calls every day. There's so much. We could be here for ages talking about it. But
yeah, I know.
So I'll move on to question 18.
Yeah.
If someone were to ask you, you know, I've been told that a large part of online marketing will soon be video based. Is this true? And if so, how does someone go about learning this?
Well, I do, you know, and I can see it, you know, you can see it when you go to different products and stuff, but I do believe that, you know, a lot of online marketing will be video based in the future. And it really helps if you can do video stuff. Right, you can really help if you could do video stuff. But the thing about it is we will explain to you what to do and how to do it when it comes to videos. Even if you do not want your face shown in a video, right? Even if you do not want your face shown stuff, we'll be able to go through tutorials with you and help you so that you actually can do that. It takes a while. It's not instant. In the beginning, when you start, you know, you could be pretty. You know, there's sometimes some people are natural. You know, some people maybe talk in place before and they're natural. Other people, most people are going to be like completely, you know, very, very funny in the beginning, listening to themselves on a video. But you know, there is techniques that we teach you and that you will learn from us, which will make you better as you go along. You will get to be much better.
Absolutely. Thank you. That leads us very nicely into our 19th question. So question 19.
Yep.
What would you say to someone who says to you, you know, I'm up for making money online, I'm prepared to work hard, I'm prepared to invest in my education and to do whatever it takes, I'm up for it. But there's only one thing, I'm not comfortable with showing my face online, making videos, showing my face around the internet. What would you say to someone who feels shy or uncomfortable doing this?
There's two answers to that question. All right. There's two answers to that question, and the one answer is get over it. Right.
Get over it. Get over
it.
That's what I was told.
The best answer. But there is another answer as well, which is if you really, really are like set against it, if you're so set against it, and it's probably not good to be set against it, but if you really, 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 really are set against it, and you're one of these people who would need to be, you know, like held at gunpoint, right, to make the video, then you probably won't do it, right? So in the case of you being that type of person, what you can do is, and we can show you all this stuff, there's certain softwares you can use to make videos using music and using words. The other way to do it, if you don't mind your voice and it's just you don't like to be on the camera, you can also create audios, and you can just have a picture of yourself or a picture of a beach somewhere or something, and that could be your video. Right? So there is different ways around it. You can also create different slideshows and things like that too. Yeah. So there is ways around it that you can still make video. You can also make like PowerPoint videos as well, which we can also show you. All right. So there's there's 3 or 4 different ways around it. Definitely. But I would advise you to do it anyway. I would advise you to do it anyway. But
the thing is, I mean, if somebody had an offline business, and we always say take this as seriously as you would an offline business. So if you are starting an online business and you are really taking it as serious as you would an offline business, you know, what would you do if somebody came into your shop and asked you for advice, you know, or came into your shop to ask you questions or something like that? And so kind of you could think of it in the same way. I mean, kind of like your video, your website is your online shop. So, and then someone's coming to you for advice,
Exactly.
to find out information. So that's one way of kind of getting over it, is to think, you know, what would you do if you had an offline business and someone came to ask you for your expertise, or, you know, you wouldn't think twice.
You wouldn't come out the shop going, "You're not going to see my face." Go on.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which leads us on to our final question. So, drum roll. What is?
Hold on, okay, doesn't work.
Oh, it doesn't work.
I was going to do a drum roll there.
Can you do a drum roll?
What do you say? Yes, here it is. Here it is. Props. Okay.
What is the fastest?
Okay, continue. Sorry.
What is the fastest way for someone to set up and get started with their online business?
Okay.
What's the fastest way for someone to start their own internet business?
If someone asked me 10 years ago, and we had then what we have now available, and someone said, start your own internet business and start it fast, I would just tell them, basically, you know, click the button below, get your own blog, get your own Employer Network blog, which is already ready, and we'll be able to help you to customize it, to make it to suit your business, and have your business up and running in the next hour. So that's the quickest way. You know,
in the next hour.
That is the quickest way. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I would challenge anybody that if anybody said to me, you know, when are you available, and make an appointment with you, whatever, and I come and they say, right, I want to sign up now, but I want to have my website up the next hour. I could have their whole website up, connected to their blog, and their first post created, which they can share in the next hour. Yeah, I would like to think that.
Excellent. And so, so if someone was keen on that concept, you just simply need to click on the link beneath this video, or it should be somewhere in this page somewhere, a join me now button, or some form of a link explaining what to do next.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed for your time today, Satiris. You know, your questions have been extremely insightful, and anyone getting started online watching this interview, you know, you've already saved them years of struggle, stress, and pain. So thank you very much indeed for your time today.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
And I shall see you in the hangout, next week's hangout.
I will indeed. Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks.
I'll see you then. Take care.
Click the link below.